Running that intro thing. Hey.
Eureka.
We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays.
We ain't watching the speed limit on this one.
Plays every day,
Kill.
We make plays every day,
Kill. Fast lane on this one. Hella miles per hour on this one. Hey, welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogart Scott Free. And we're going all the way from the Bay to the A. You know what I'm saying? With my man. Straight from the A. Straight from the Dirty Birds. He's a young, old soul. He's a man that I wouldn't have guessed was as young as he is. Because his content is seasoned. He's like a vet, bro. Like, I even actually had to ask him off air. Like, bro, how old are you really? Because this young man, his content, bro, it's one of those ones where I'm like, the fact that he started as young as he started, give him a few more years, you know what I'm saying? All the networks is knocking at his door, bro. And with no further delay, I want to introduce our special guest host for the evening, or morning, or afternoon, whenever you're hearing this joint. But our special guest host for the evening, he is the host of his own podcast, the host of the Myles Per HR Podcast, Myles. Hey, what's happening, bruh?
Man, you know, we just chilling down here in the ATL, you know what I'm saying? Nothing much going on. How you doing?
Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just slow motion in the big old ocean, trying to stay afloat, my brother.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Staying safe?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I'm staying as safe as possible. You know what I mean? I got three youngins, like I was telling you when we were talking a little bit off air. You know what I mean? I got three young childrens. You know what I'm saying? So I just, you know what I mean? I just stay, you know what I mean, in the winning position as much as possible. You know what I mean? And you know, and my girl is a nurse, so she's out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the COVID madness. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, and you know, along with what's going on in the world, and I don't even want to say what's going on with the world right now, because you know, low key, this shit been going on for a long time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I say low key too, because that's what, you know, even though it's not low key, but that's just what they be trying to keep it. They be trying to keep that shit as a secret, the fuck shit. You know what I mean? But anyways,
Okay.
my man Myles Per HR, we're gonna keep this thing we're gonna keep this thing on cruise control. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and we're definitely gonna touch on the Dirty Birds. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Atlanta Falcons. You feel me? And before we get into all that, we're gonna go ahead and handle this housekeeping. All right. So follow me at the GMM Network on IG and Twitter. Follow me at Bogart Scott Free World on IG, and I want you to check us out on rumboys.com. That's where you're going to get all our merch, and that's where you're going to find all our latest and greatest articles from all our innovative sports journalists. Shout out to the gang, you know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to check out our official Rum Boys sponsor. That is Monkey Knife Fight. So go ahead to monkeyknifefight.com. Enter promo code RUMBOYZ. That's RUMBOYZ. All capitals. Once again, enter promo code RUMBOYZ. And with your first deposit, we will match it all the way up to $50. So that means Don't fuck around and put down $6 and then you get $12 back. No. Put down the $50, get you the hundo, and you're gonna go ahead and have $100 to fuck with all the daily fantasy sports. For all your legal online props, all that shit, go to monkeyknifefight.com, enter promo code RUNBOYS, and we'll match your first deposit all the way up to $50. Sports is coming back. We're just going to speak it into existence. I know some people are non-believers with all the fuck shit going on, but you know what? I'm going to keep it positive. We're going to get America's favorite sports back in full swing. And special shout out to our official sponsor as well, Milk and Honey TX. For all your CBD wellness and all your CBD goodness, visit milkandhoneytx.com. Myles, let them know where to find you. Let them know where to find you. Let them know where to find all the content, all the isms.
All right. So, first of all, thank you for having me. You know, like you said, the name of my podcast is the Myles Per HR Podcast. It's MYLESPER HR. Find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever podcasts can be heard. Follow me on the gram, on Instagram at Myles Per HR Podcast, MYLESPER HR Podcast on Instagram. We just reached 100 followers on my podcast page, which I'm very happy about, and 1,000 total views on my podcast.
He's going 100 miles per hour from now on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All gas, no brakes. You know what I'm saying? And check this out, Myles. For all the my audience, I like to call them the Playmakers. You know what I'm saying? They are the Playmakers. And for all the Playmakers, we're definitely going to have all the links and all the isms in the description of this episode, so they can make sure they're able to locate you properly with all the content, all the isms, follow you, and subscribe, all the shit. You feel me? Hey, let me ask you something real quick. Here's a dumb question: we can subscribe on like Spotify and shit? Cause I just be putting them on a playlist.
No. I think what you do when you go to Spotify and type in the name of my podcast.
Yeah.
And you hit the follow button, and you just get notifications when I upload. Same thing for
Apple
Podcast.
Okay, I seen that. Cause I just be like, bro, I legit just go to your page and just click the link. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, no, I got to do that. See, Playmakers, I learn something every day. You know what I mean? You feel me? Because I definitely been tuning in. You know what I mean? But now, I'm about to give you that 101. You know what I mean? You feel me? All right, check this out. Playmakers, he is a must follow. He is a must sub. All that shit. And I want you to let him know a little bit about yourself, where you from, and basically how you came about with the podcast. You feel me?
All right. So basically, my future career, I really want to be a sports commentator when I get older.
Word.
Right. And so with this lady at my church, she was like, Myles, why don't you? She asked me what I wanted to be. I told her a sports commentator, and she was like, why don't you start a podcast? I was like, what you mean? She said, download this app called Anchor, and you can just give your opinion. Because that's basically what a sports commentator is, like a Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, like a talking head, essentially.
Right.
But bigger and better than that. Because talking heads are like that's kind of like what I am in a sense. Like, I'm not a journalist by any means, even though I've been trying to have journalistic integrity, right, to a degree. But that's what you intended on being. So now your auntie at church, she was like, how about this? Did you even know what a podcast was when she said it at first?
Honestly, I've heard of a podcast, but I've never listened to one. I've never actually looked one up. I just knew it was basically YouTube without a video.
Nice. Yeah, just essentially just audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, so wow, I love that. So from the house of God, essentially, in the house of God, one of God's children, like we are, had spoke through. So essentially, God spoke through your auntie and told you.
Right.
Because I strongly believe in shit like that.
Right.
That's awesome, bro. That's fucking awesome. I think we need a Jamaican horns that one. You feel me? I like that you're cut and dry with there. It's real fast. It's like, look, that's how it happened, B. You know what I mean? Okay.
Right.
All right. So how long you been at it? And you're just a one-man show too, a one-man operation, because all the episodes.
Yeah, I started September of last year. That's when I got all my information. That's when I started. And yeah, I'm just a one-man operation, 16. I'm a high school senior now, so.
What's up, dude? Okay, real quick side note. So how is that looking right now? Like, if you're a senior and you're finna graduate, what's it looking like right now? Like, because of what all this, during this quarantine and all that kind of shit. I mean, I know Atlanta's opened up now, but like, how was it with school, bro? Like I said, I'm finna be a senior, and like I was a junior. You was a junior, okay?
Yeah, I'm finna be a senior. I'm a junior now. We got out of school. All statewide testing was canceled. I had to take my AP. I had to take my advanced placement class. My advanced placement test online. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that just got canceled. We had junior prom and senior prom that got canceled. It was a whole lot of stuff. It was like the last day of school. We missed out on that. We missed the seniors walking. So Corona really did take a toll, and I'm just hoping and praying and hoping that it's all over by the time it's time for me to go. When it's time for me to become a senior, because I don't want to spend my senior year at my house. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you, bro. Like, you know what's crazy is like, another side note. I thought you was, I swear I thought you was hella older than you are. It's so crazy, just because the way you like carry yourself. Because I've been watching your content, or listen, in this case, listening to your content. I've tuned into you a couple times when you fuck with Ethan when you go live, and I forget that Ethan's a young boy too. You know what I'm saying? He's a senior right now too. He's finna graduate type of shit. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, man. Damn, and you know what, man? Hopefully the world gets back anywhere type of normal. I will say though, we're probably always gonna be wearing masks from now on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is kind of crazy too, because I never imagined a world that I'm walking into a bank wearing a mask and gloves and shit, and everybody's chilling. You know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Or even just walking into any situation wearing a mask and gloves and shit. Like, walking into a liquor store, it's just crazy, bruh. Because I got I remember when I was texting you at one point. And I was like, bro, how you doing out there, man? Hope you good. Hope all is well. Because, I got folks out there in the A. You know what I mean? I got homies out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to do a lot of business out there. Like, I used to be through the A. You know what I mean? I know how lit it is. You know what I'm saying? It's popping out there. And, like, even my homie, he was like, yo, when they open back up, it's a party, bro. And I'm like, what you doing? And he's like, I'm still masked up. And I'm like, yeah. Because, and this is before, the unfortunate, untimely murder of George Floyd, you know what I mean? Where it was like, you know what I mean? Where it was just like, yo, and then now everybody everywhere is out there. But you know what, though? We will definitely touch on that a little later. All right, but what we are going to get into first, immediately, is the Dirty Birds.
Right,
you know
my favorite team.
Yeah, and me and you, we kind of have a correlation, because I'm a Niner, born and raised. And so I feel your pain, bro. You know where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
We together share the pain of basically winning a Super Bowl, and then Shanahan just fucks it all off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what? We won't. That's not what this show's about. I just want to let you know that we identify on that. You know what I mean? Right. So check us out. When you look at what the Atlanta Falcons have done in free agency and in the draft, let's go ahead and highlight some of these guys that are going to make an immediate impact.
Okay.
Yeah, You got something in mind off top? I got a few.
Yeah, we got.
Let's rock.
Like you said, going off the draft, we took what's his name? Who I think honestly could possibly make a case for defensive rookie of the year.
Henderson.
Who?
You talking about Henderson?
No, Marlon Davidson.
Ooh, Davidson. Ooh, you're right. Okay, go ahead. Rock.
So,
rock.
I thought he was a first round pick. He thought he was a first round pick. And when I saw him fall to the second round and the Falcons took him, I was like, oh, we basically just got Grady Jarrett 2.0. It's already bad. It's already bad for the team that we got that Grady Jarrett coming to him. Now that you got another Grady Jarrett coming for him, if Grady Jarrett can't get him, Marlon Davidson is gonna get him. You know what I'm saying? It's basically pick your poison with the defense,
bro. And you already know too. Here's the thing, Dan Quinn. He comes from that. Dan Quinn. He was a part of building the Legion of Boom. That whole entity in Seattle.
Yeah, in Seattle. Yeah, with Cam Chancellor.
Yeah. So it's bruh. Oh my God. Davidson, I forgot because then I also do want to highlight Henderson. You guys run a cover 3.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So having a dude like Davidson and then also, you know what I'm saying, having someone like Henderson that you could put on an island, bro, your secondary is about to be nasty, bro.
Yeah.
You know who I like low key too? Who actually will help? Is Isaiah Oliver. Isaiah Oliver, you know what I'm saying? Him not being...
okay, a draft pick last year, all right.
Yeah, him not being the number one corner, him being the secondary corner is going to be a hell of a lot better. Because he can't... You know what I mean? He's the prototype, he's the prototype, build for a cornerback in a Dan Quinn defense. You know what I mean? But now you get someone like Henderson, who you could actually, because like I said, they're gonna run a lot of cover 3. You know what I'm saying? And okay, so would you go as far as to talk about Chancellor in the same conversation as your man Davidson?
You said would I have Henderson as same conversation as Davidson?
No, I'm talking about Chancellor, Cam Chancellor.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm relating it back to his time with the Seahawks. With the you know what I'm saying, as far as the type of defense he's trying to build. As a safety.
Henderson.
Henderson's a cornerback. I'm talking about old boy that you had brought up.
Oh, Mario Davidson?
Davidson, yeah.
He's a defensive lineman.
Oh my God, I'm fucked up. I thought we were. My bad. I don't know why I was thinking he was a safety, because I was that's why I was trying to compare him to Chancellor. I was like, you know what though, Playmakers, things like this can occur in the field, bro. You definitely needed that DL for sure. Because that's one of your most. First of all, your defense is injured all the way around. Yeah, and you definitely needed him. You're right. Ooh, I'm sorry. I should have wrote that down.
Because with the injury to Keanu Neal, that was the.
Yeah.
Everybody was comparing him to Cam Chancellor. You know what I'm saying?
And O'Neal, yeah, my bad. That's why I was bringing that up, because when you had brought up Chancellor earlier. Yeah, and O'Neal stays hurt too, man. He's dog. Yeah, he gets bad injuries, like season-ending joints.
Yeah, it's not no sprained ankle or nothing.
No.
2 seasons ago, he tore was it his ACL or his Achilles?
It was the ACL.
It was one of those.
Yeah.
And then this season, he tore his Achilles or ACL.
Yeah, he's one or the other. He's just, man, I hope that kid. You know what, though? I'll tell you this much. In a goddamn corona climate confinement, he might be juicing to the gills, because, doctors can't even test you and shit, team doctors. You know what I mean? Hey, I would. If I was him, I'd be on them roids right now. Just getting healed up as fast as I can. You feel me?
Right.
Hey, you know who I am disappointed in though, and that y'all let him go. Vic Beasley, man, because he was dope his rookie year, but that was it.
Also, I can say this. It was his rookie year. I think he only had 7 sacks, and he had that. It was at the end of it was like the very last game of the season.
When you say only, I mean like as they were playing him as an outside linebacker, so it was like 7 sacks is pretty good.
As a rookie, that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
But his second year, he led the league in sacks his second year with like 16 and a half.
Yeah, and then then they started trying to do some other shit with him, like moving him around at defensive end for real. Like it was weird.
Yeah, it was the crazy. Like, so you know how the Falcons, we had a horrible season. I think we finished the season 8-8. I said 7-9, one of those.
Yeah.
And it was the first half of the season. Our defense was playing flat out horrible. You know what I'm saying? When Dwayne Quinn was giving the call.
Half though.
And then it was like during the second half of the season, like during the last 5 or 6 games, or 6 or 7, when Dan Quinn.
When he gave up the play calling on defense, he gave it up to
Big shine.
What was it? The linebacker coach who took over the reins?
I think it was the defensive lineman coach.
Okay, it was the lineman coach. Yeah, I know it was one of the position coaches because he took over and turned that thing around. B.
Right, and it was Drew. When we sacked Drew, that game we had.
Yeah, it wasn't like
3, 4, 5 times.
It was like, bruh. Yeah, hey, that was the game that turned y'all around too, for real. Matter of fact, I'm a Niner fan. You know what I'm saying? Shortly after, y'all came into Levi Stadium and beat us.
Yeah, the real reason I wanted to beat y'all was because of Kyle Shanahan not giving that Ryan the right.
Because you feel away.
Yeah, I was feeling some type of way. I was like,
for
really,
sure.
Shanahan? And so. That last play of the game where that ball crossed the plane, I was like, yeah, this game over with.
And Julio, I love Julio, bro.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think he deserves a ring more than anybody in the league right now.
Yeah, bro. I can't lie. I think Julio, and I also will say, I mean, I know it's your division rival, but I also want Michael Thomas to get one too.
The thing with Michael Thomas, don't get me wrong, he's definitely a top 3 receiver.
He's definitely a number 1. He's definitely a top 3 largest dome pieces. Like, have you seen his dome piece? It's not even large. It's like tall.
Yeah, he's just a tall receiver. You can just throw it. If you can just get it over the defender's head.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like, look at Michael Thomas's head in general. He has a tall head. My nickname for him is Frankenstein. Look at him. Watch. Next time you see him, you'll know what I'm talking about. His dome piece is tall. I think he's like 6'3", right?
Yeah, he's 6'3".
He's 6'3", right? Really?
Right.
Really, he's like 5'5", but his dome piece is the rest of his height. You know what I mean? His dome piece is tall. You know what I'm saying? His dome piece is like fucking 11 inches. But yeah, okay. So, going back to the Falcons, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? One person I want to say that shines in their free agent, and whether it's the free agency or draft, bro, Hayden Hurst, bro. Like trading for Hayden Hurst, because you know why this is phenomenal, is because the Dirk Cutter, bro.
Yeah.
Like, what Dirk Cutter system does.
When he was in Tampa.
Yeah. Oh, remember everyone last year, they were upset with O.J. Howard. You rock with fantasy, right? You fuck with fantasy football. So remember last year, everybody was upset with O.J. Howard. I was off O.J. Howard because Bruce Arians went into Tampa Bay. Historically, he don't really target the tight end. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when Dirk Cutter was there, we're talking about O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate. I even remember when they drafted Austin Safarian Jenkins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How about this? Dirk Cutter going all the way back to when he was with Atlanta with Mike Smith.
Right.
That? And granted, it was Tony Gonzalez, but still, they were killing it, targeting the tight end. So last
See, the
season,
thing is,
bro. Okay, go ahead.
when Dirk Cutter was in Tampa, their offense wasn't the problem primarily. It was just their defense couldn't stop anybody. Their defense couldn't stop a parked car.
Nope. Not at
And
all.
so, right?
No, I said not at all. I'm
I'm
rocking
just-
with you.
And it's just,
Hey, can you hear me
I'm not-
good? Can you hear me
Yeah, I
good?
can hear you.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Okay.
And
go
so
ahead.
we're not going to just sit here and say that Dirk Cutter was a bad coach. I mean, yeah, him and Tampa Bay didn't have a great season, so they had to let him go. And our offensive coordinator, I forget his name. He came from a college, and he was not the best at all.
Nope.
Steven Stefanski or something like that.
Yeah, it's something, Steven.
Steven, yeah. And so with the fact that we let Austin Hooper go, like when you look at Austin Hooper, he had the best season of his career last year with us.
In the
a
Dirk
deep
Cutter
threat.
system.
Exactly. And now when you look at Hayden Hurst, right, when he was in Baltimore,
Former first-round pick, too.
former first round pick, exactly. The thing is, he sat behind another tight end. Hayden Hurst only had like 2 touchdowns.
No, but here's the thing, though. He actually got beat out by Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, that's his name.
And Mark Andrews is the guy. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And over there, too, they have Greg Roman. The Greg Roman system is kind of like the Dirk Cutter system as far as the fact that they are going to scheme the tight end. You know what I mean? They are going to draw up plays weekly to target the tight end. Like, I was telling everyone last season, I was telling everybody last season, you had to have Austin Hooper really late in fantasy, late in the draft. Target Austin Hooper. He's going to ball. Everyone was like, what? Like, who the fuck Austin Hooper? I'm like, trust me, bro. He's going to ball like a Hooper. What do Hoopers do? They ball, right? In this case, they make a conscious effort to trade for Hayden Hurst. And it's a smart move organizational wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're trading for a guy who was a first round draft pick, so you got him for 5 years without having to pay the man.
Right.
Austin Hooper was ready to get paid. He's ready to get the bag. That's why
he was a 3rd round draft pick.
Exactly. So his contract was up. You need to give him the bag or he got to walk. And he went and got the bag with the Browns. You know what I'm
The
saying?
thing is, we didn't have the cap to sign him because we already signed Julio and Matt Ryan and Deion Jones and Grady Jarrett and Jake Matthews. So we could have offered Hooper a contract. He wasn't going to like the contract, but at least he would have had the contract offered. But it wouldn't have been the contract he would have liked. And I can say, I don't know. I can't for certain say that if when he goes to the Browns, I can't 100% guarantee you that Hooper's going to have
No. I don't think it's going to be great. Because
I like Hooper so much.
I like
love
him
the
a lot
man.
too as a talent, and he's a good dude too as a person. But I'm saying that
Exactly, as a person.
he's gonna go to a place. He's going to the Browns, where you have Odell Beckham Jr., you have Jarvis Landry, you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who both can catch the ball, bro. Like, and it's Kevin Stefanski coming over from the Vikings.
All right.
Right, where they're gonna run a lot of zone run schemes. Matter of fact, Stefanski, he's legit a product of Gary Kubiak, and Gary Kubiak, who's actually the offensive coordinator now for the Vikings in his absence. You with Stefanski going over to Cleveland. So now Kubiak took over as the offensive coordinator for the Vikings. Gary Kubiak's system is the Mike Shanahan system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the back in the day. So it's a lot of zone run shit, a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. So that we're going to see a lot of David Njoku and Austin Hooper on the field at the same time. That's why I don't believe, Austin Hooper is anybody I'm going to be targeting at all in fantasy football. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Hayden Hurst, or as I like to call him, Hayden Hurst Helmsley. You know what I'm saying? You got Hayden Hurst Helmsley, the cerebral assassin. He's coming through to the Falcons, bro. He's gonna eat.
Yeah, and because he has because Lamar Jackson, this last year was his sophomore year.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson was don't get me wrong, I love him, man. He deserved an MVP. But he's still young. He's a running, like I said, he's a running quarterback. He has the deep ball.
He's better than Michael Vick.
Yeah, whoa.
I mean, as far as okay, you know what? You're right. Let me scale that back. I would say he's this generation's Michael Vick. How about that?
Yeah, I can say that. I can definitely say that.
Because when I said it out loud and I heard myself out loud, I was like, whoa. Because let's pump the brakes for a second. I've only seen like 2 years of him, and it's basically a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely didn't perform. He definitely didn't perform well in the playoffs like Mike Vick did.
Yeah, when Lamar Jackson didn't do jack squat in the playoffs, that hurt me, and I'm not even a Ravens fan. I was just like, wow, because I don't want to say that their season was a fluke, but
I think. Well, you got to remember too, Lamar Jackson. Remember, he was hurt week 16. And
right.
He played hurt against the Browns. And then, so week 17, he didn't play. Then they had the bye week. So essentially, he went like damn near a month, 3 weeks, 21 days before he got back on the field. So, you know what I mean? Like being out of sync. You know what I mean? I think that might have had a lot to do with it. And I think Greg Roman, his play calling in that playoff game against the Titans, stupid, man. Not good.
Lamar just had by far a terrible game. He was throwing, and you could see it on his face, like the way he took off his helmet was just pure anger. And the thing was, with Hayden Hurst, Matt Ryan is like we all know Matt Ryan's 33. He's more of an experienced quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because Matt Ryan's deep ball is not the best. Sometimes our receivers got to wait on it.
Well, it helps that he has Julio who can make a play on a poorly thrown ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. Julio can make me look like an MVP quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
And so the fact that we traded for Hayden Hurst, like almost immediately after Hooper walks, like I want to say no more than maybe a week after Hooper walks, we traded for Hayden Hurst. And because Hayden Hurst has no choice but to be the star tight end, because our tight end now is, I think it's Jaden Graham or something like that.
Yep. And bro, here's the thing: is because that offense is predicated on giving like 15% of the target market share to the tight end position.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they need a playmaker. You know what I mean? So trading for Hayden Hurst didn't surprise me. I love that they did that.
Well, I was sad when we let Hooper walk, but I was like, oh wow, we traded for Hayden Hurst, and I was like, all right, Thomas Dimitroff.
Right? At first you were probably like, what the fuck's going on, right?
Right.
But it's replacing a need, which I respect. Is when you're a GM, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to you have to patch up the holes, or in this case, completely like fill the hole. In this sense, losing, Austin Hooper to free agency because they went for to pay him, and he actually is the highest paid tight end right now.
Yeah, he deserves every penny of it. He deserves every penny.
Right, no, for sure. He deserves a bag. Granted, even if it's only on one season under Dirk Cutter, but I feel Dirk Cutter as a coach, as offensive coordinator, he believes enough in his system that like he was like, we need to trade for Hayden Hurst, and he's athletic as fuck, bro. He's a specimen, dude.
Yeah, because we could have easily drafted a cornerback. I mean, tight end, but like we don't know if he's gonna live up to. Because everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, the Falcons are missing Austin Hooper. Are they gonna be able to recuperate?" With the addition of Hayden Hurst, we're not gonna miss. But like, if we would have drafted tight end, we could never say that tight end was gonna be the next Austin Hooper or the next Tony Gonzalez per se. We're living off potential.
Yeah, and
right?
Are you familiar with Ozzie Newsome?
Ozzie Newsome.
So Ozzie Newsome, he retired a year ago or 2 seasons ago. He was the GM for the Baltimore Ravens. Or my bad. Baltimore, I should say. Let me pronounce it correctly. For the Baltimore Ravens. You know what I mean? And bruh, Ozzie Newsome, part of his last things he did as a GM was draft Lamar Jackson. Or actually, first draft Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst went first.
Then drafted Lamar Jackson. Then later on, they got Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews obviously fits their scheme because it's also like a business decision. You know what I mean? Like, how are we gonna have to pay this man? You know what I'm saying? You would have had to pay Hayden Hurst, and it didn't help Hayden Hurst's cause that he got hurt early his rookie year. And then Mark Andrews, he was able to flash and show some things. You know what I mean? And then going into their sophomore year, last year, Mark Andrews was one of my sleepers. And I was telling everybody, you need to have Mark Andrews. This year, I'm saying that about Hayden Hurst in this Dirk Cutter system.
Right.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right, so what? All right, here's a question. Here's a question. This is off script. You think if I was to ask you, and I know you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, but if you weren't an Atlanta Falcons fan and you can just look at it totally unbiased, what do you think is their biggest problem? Like, it doesn't matter if it's defense or offense, like positional wise. What do you think is their biggest downfall that you personally would be like they need to work on?
Our personal downfall was our cornerback, and I can during the first round of the draft, I was really hoping we was gonna find a way to get up to trade for Jeff Okudah.
You talking about what position?
He's a cornerback that went to Detroit.
Oh yeah, okay. You talking about Okudah?
Jeff Okudah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping we got him or.
Well, he was definitely going to be a top 5 pick. So
that's the thing. I knew he was going to be a top 5 pick, so I was like Thomas Dimitroff. We traded Robert Alford like 2 years ago. We didn't re-sign Desmond Trufant, and I can't sit here and say that I'm comfortable with Isaiah Oliver and Blitty Ray Wilson. And it was somebody else.
But I do love Henderson, though, bro.
C.J. Henderson.
Yeah, I fuck with Henderson, bro. Like, that was a great pick. He's definitely a first rounder.
Who, for the Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, we took A.J. Terrell.
No, I'm talking about the cornerback. Didn't you? Oh, no, Henderson went to the Jags. Damn, I'm so wrong about that.
Yeah, Henderson went to the Jaguars.
I'm so wrong about that. Damn, so your corners are kind of... Damn, your corners are gonna be a little. They're gonna be a little iffy.
Yeah, then the thing was, I can, as a Falcons fan, if they're a real Falcons fan, they can sit here and tell you without getting butthurt. When we had Robert Alford and Desmond Trufant, don't get me wrong, they were some great cornerbacks. When Robert Alford picked six Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, I thought that was our solidifying thing because I was like, our defense is nasty.
Yeah.
But the fact, like after that Super Bowl and the season after the Super Bowl, it was so many pass interference calls. That was our downfall. Like pass interference is not like a holding or a false start or encroachment or neutral zone infraction. It's not just 5 or 10, 15 yards or a 20-yard penalty.
Yeah,
that's a pass interference.
It's a spot foul.
So like what teams did was, and I saw them do it, they would be at their own 30-yard line, and they would throw the ball deep, knowing our cornerbacks would like do something to interfere with them, and they would go from their 30-yard line to our 30-yard line with a pass interference defense number 21. So they would continue at the spot of the foul, replay third down or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I would be like, don't get me wrong, we had a couple of nice interceptions, nice couple pat downs, some nice fumbles. And the thing was, it wasn't our safeties. Our safeties are there to help the cornerbacks. And I'm tired of seeing Desmond Trufant. I love Desmond Trufant. The way I love him, like I love him as a man, I love him as a cornerback. But I shouldn't have to depend on DeMonte KZ or Keanu Neal to come tackle him because Desmond Trufant doesn't like to tackle.
Yeah.
And I will not compare Desmond Trufant to Deion Sanders. I will not do it. But I can say neither one of them like to tackle.
Yeah, because Neon Deion, he was definitely like a shoestring tackling motherfucker. You know what I mean?
And it was, besides our cornerbacks, like when Keanu Neal went down, our safeties wasn't the problem. We had DeMonte Casey had 7 interceptions that one year, and he was like tied for first in the league. So, I mean, the fact that we took AJ Terrell, I mean, everybody's gonna talk about that one game where we got absolutely destroyed against the who was it? But was it LSU? Was it LSU they played in the game from Clemson? Like the fact that he got absolutely destroyed by LSU. Yeah. That's what everybody's gonna talk about. They're not gonna talk about the fact that he's 29-1 as a cornerback. They're not gonna talk about that he jumped a lot of the balls. He like a lot of picks. They're not gonna talk about that. All they're gonna talk about is how he got burnt by LSU. And the thing was, LSU was the best college football team that I've seen in my lifetime. Because I've only been alive for 16 years.
Yeah.
I mean 17 years. So I mean I can't speak on teams that you have seen as you're 35, 33.
Yeah.
I can't speak on the teams that you've seen in your lifetime. I just finished watching the Michael Vick 30 for 30. That Florida State team, that Virginia Tech team. You've seen them. Like I haven't seen them. All I can watch is highlights. But I've seen LSU play. They're one. I'm gonna be able to tell my kid they were one of the most dangerous and nastiest college football teams in college football history. And so the fact that that's like having Julio Jones get locked up by Darius Slay. People gonna talk about that's his downfall. Like it's one bad game, and everybody gonna talk about that's his bad game, AJ Terrell, because it was a championship. Like, and I mean,
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So how about this? So you're, still keeping to the free agency like draft type of shit topic, right? In free agency, Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Georgia kid. He's coming back. It's a big homecoming. You know what I mean?
How
do you feel about him?
I'm not gonna sit here and say that. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh my gosh, I am ecstatic that Todd Gurley came back. I will say it was a smart move because Devontae Freeman sat on his behind for like almost all games last season and just got paid. And because Todd Gurley, I think he'll fit more in the Dirk Cutter offense than was Sean McVay calling their plays or somebody else that was the offensive coordinator?
You talking about? You talking about when with Gurley in the Rams?
Yeah,
it was really their line, their offensive line. It went to shit.
Yeah.
It went to hell, and like I remember Todd Gurley when Derek Fisher was there. Not Derek Fisher. That's the basketball player. When Coach Fisher, whatever his first name was, I can't even.
Derek Fisher, yeah.
Yeah, no, Derek Fisher is definitely is he the basketball player? Or do I have that right?
He was Derek Fisher. Wasn't he the coach of the Rams?
He was the coach of the Rams, Fisher, but I don't know if his first name was Derek. I mean, because I'm definitely confusing him with the basketball player. But see, and that's how unmemorable he was as a head coach. I can't even remember the first name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so how do you feel about Todd Gurley? Like, I mean, granted, having someone like Todd Gurley, especially with his resume, granted he's hurt, but like the fact that he's Todd Gurley, and then you're gonna have the likes of like Julio Jones and Hayden Hurst and Calvin Ridley, bro. Defenses are gonna have to scheme for them. I think Todd Gurley might see, he might not see stacked boxes.
I can say Todd Gurley's gonna have a bounce back year, right? Because our offensive line is we have Alex Mack, we have Jamon Brown, and we got our two sophomores, Caleb McGarry and Chris Lindstrom. I said Jamon Brown, James Carpenter. Our offensive line is way better than Los Angeles is, right?
For sure.
What it's going to be is just getting him involved in the offense.
And you're going to need to commit double coverage to Julio Jones, so there's not going to be no safety dropping down into the box. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to let a safety drop down into the box and give Julio Jones single coverage? That's all bad.
And the thing, it's really, honestly, it's like what you're implying is pick your poison. If you double cover Julio, you're gonna leave Calvin Ridley open. And if you double cover Calvin, Julio gonna have 1-on-1. If you playing man to man on both of them, you're gonna leave Hayden Hurst open or Todd Gurley open. And we signed Laquan Treadwell, who came from the Vikings, who played under Kirk Cousins, who, in my opinion, Kirk Cousins is not a top 5 quarterback whatsoever. I don't even know if he's top 10.
I'll give him top 12.
Yeah, I can put him in top 12.
I'll probably put him at 12.
Yeah.
Like, reality-wise. You know what I mean? Because, there is a difference between, our perspectives as far as we're talking reality or fantasy. You know what I mean? Because in fantasy, he's definitely a top 10 quarterback. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's two different worlds. You know what I mean?
Right. But he's not a quarterback that's gonna be able to. He's not a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
What's the depth chart looking like?
That's the crazy part.
As far as running back,
Dalvin Cook for the Vikings or for the Falcons?
No, I'm talking about for the Falcons, for the Dirty Birds.
We got it goes Todd Gurley, Edo Smith, and Quadri Olison. And Quadri Olison, he's that goal line running back, or that when we have them 3rd and inches or 4th and inches.
Yeah, he's a bruiser.
He's that type of back.
Yeah, he's a bruiser.
Yeah. And then Edo Smith is like that. Like when you just got a Like if Todd Gurley gets us down, if it's like 1st and 10 and Todd Gurley gets like the 2nd and 2 or whatever, Ito Smith is going to get us like a first down and maybe 5, 10, 15 yards. That's that type of running back they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Actually, too, to be real with you, like Ito Smith, you know what I mean? Like if I almost would want to draft him in fantasy leagues, like really, really late, maybe, or even just pick him up off the waiver wire, right? But because, I mean, the fact that Todd Gurley probably gonna get hurt at one point or play hurt where he will be limited. You know what I mean? Like snap count wise. But at the same time, goddamn, what's his name? Hayden Hurst, Calvin Ridley, you know what I'm saying? Julio Jones, like, these guys are going to get off nasty. You know what I mean? Especially if we believe that the Falcons secondary is not going to be, like, improved by any means, right? They might. Yeah, so that means they might be giving up points. So I'm wondering if they're going to put emphasis on the run. Here's another thing I worry about. I can't remember. Can you tell me a running back in a Dirk Cutter system that was going hard?
You got a good point.
Right? So I do worry about Todd Gurley. I'm probably just
the thing is,
go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead. That's you, bro. Go ahead.
I can't honestly name a running back that's gone off or had a great season in Dirk Carter's offense.
Yes,
but
thank you.
You can say what running back has Dirk Carter worked with? You know what I'm saying?
It's true. Good point. What is it?
Like,
Jacquizz Rodgers, Payne Barber, fucking goddamn Ronald Jones even was trash.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're no names because they're in the NFL for a reason.
Of course.
But they're not no Todd Gurley. They're not a Christian McCaffrey. They're not a Saquon Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott. But I can say if Todd, because I'm happy that the Falcons didn't sign him to like a 3 or 4 year type contract. If Todd Gurley does not prove himself this year, it's going to be hard for him looking for a job next year.
For real, you ain't lying, bro. And especially because, bro, if he's busted up, like the world knows, he's busted up, bro. Like, supposedly, like, he suffered from, like, arthritis and type of shit like that. I don't think that shit just goes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, what?
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's I think, like, even if Todd Gurley does have a good season this year, even if the Falcons didn't sign Todd Gurley, I was fine with our running back core. Like, I was fine with Ito Smith because he proved himself last year when Devontae Freeman was hurt.
Yep. He stays hurt.
Yeah. And the thing is, Devontae Freeman's still out of a job, so.
Bro, fun fact, Ito Smith, he was named after the judge in the O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, Ito. That's like a very unique name. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, in the O.J. Simpson trial, they had a judge, and his name was Ito. And, like, I mean, like, obviously we all know O.J. Simpson's a murderer, right? But we all wanted him to win in the 90s. You definitely weren't born yet. I remember being like a kid, bro, during these times. And like to preface this too, my godfather, you know what I'm saying? I'm Filipino. So we call it my Ninong. My Ninong was a 6'5" black African American gentleman. He came from Alabama. He was living in the West Coast. He was my dad's best friend. This dude, right? Check this out. This dude, he was on some whole you know what I mean?
Right.
OJ, I don't care if he did it. But like, listen, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? And when he got off, everyone was ecstatic. So there was like, it's the same way like when you look at the league, how many Shaqs do you see? A ton of them, right?
Yeah.
Because during the time, Shaquille O'Neal was the guy, right? So now, in culture, in like, you know, America at the time, O.J. Simpson was a thing. Everyone wanted him to get off. And with that said, the judge who got him off, his name was Ito. So Ito Smith, his mother legit named him after the judge. Because they were, bro, it didn't matter if O.J. Simpson did it or not. The fact that he beat the case, being an African-American gentleman I mean, come on, you know, we kind of foreshadowed it earlier, the fuck shit. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, America sucks in that sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
America's on some fuck shit. Like, America's racist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, when O.J. Simpson got acquitted, bro, you know how many African American, you know, people, they were so excited, bro. Even though a majority of them knew he did it, it was just the first time that a motherfucker actually beat the system. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, right? So, like, the same way Shaquille O'Neal was the shit, and a lot of people that were having children, they named their kids after Shaquille O'Neal. They named their kids Shaq, right? Same way. You know what I mean? This, in particular, this mother named her son Ito, you know, Ito Smith. Because after the judge. And Ito Smith, bro, I was a truther a couple years ago because I always knew Devontae Freeman. Devontae Freeman always just gets hurt. And he has so many concussions where it's like he gets one, boom, he's done for hella weeks. You know what I mean? Where like I just kept an eye on Ito Smith. But now that they got Todd Gurley there, now here's the real question. Todd Gurley, you play fantasy. You think he's good as a third round pick in fantasy in 12 teams? You think so?
As a third round, I could say late third, early fourth.
I like that. I would agree with that more so, like early fourth even, because if I can get Todd Gurley as like my third running back, I'd feel okay about that. But I'm not banking on him like Todd Gurley is of old, because his knees are old. Like, bro, it's so crazy what happened with him, you know, in Los Angeles with the Rams.
All right.
Yeah, bro. Okay. Let's switch gears. Let's go ahead and switch gears. This is another one off script. Right?
All right.
What you think about them jerseys, B?
Man, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I love them jerseys. Especially the one that goes. It's like it starts off red. It starts off black and then it fades into red, or it starts off red.
Yeah.
Those is clean. Those are some clean jerseys, man. I love them jerseys.
I happen to agree with you. You know what I mean? I love the ATL on them joints too.
Yeah. You gonna show what we about.
Right? Because it's like, let's be honest, bro. You live in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I got brothers that live in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man G. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? It's culture. Like, black culture, almost like that's the mecca of black culture, for real.
Yeah.
So, like, the ATL on the jersey is so necessary. You feel me?
Yeah, like, yeah, them. Maybe my least favorite ones is the I think the all white ones was maybe my least favorite. They still nice. They're probably like my least favorite.
The white joints?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you know what, too? Is like, because it's like super white.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, I liked, all right, check this out. You know, shout out to all the hairdressers and all that work in salons and shit, right? All the hairstylists, right? Because, goddamn, the black going into the red, you know that females as a hairstyle, right? That's called ombre. You know what I mean? That's an ombre style. You feel me? Like, and it's kind of dope because, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the ill hairdressers and a lot of people who drive culture as far as like style and shit like that come from Atlanta. You know what I mean? And like, so it's kind of cool that they kind of did a play on that on the jerseys. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah, bro. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna move into our final segment, right? Because this one's a doozy, right? This one kind of made me hot too. And when I say hot, I mean like upset, like I'm angry. This motherfucking face birthmark having ass motherfucker Drew Brees. He went ahead and made some extremely ignorant comments. You're well aware of this.
Yeah.
Bruh. What in
I can say, first of all, I'm 17. I'm almost an adult. To the cops and to some white people, I'm already seen as a threat, right? And you've seen what's been going on in the world. You've seen the riots and the protests, and
of course,
especially up there in Los Angeles. And it's riots going on all over the country. And you've seen the killings and mistreatment of my people due to the color of their skin, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think Drew Brees, I respect him as a quarterback. I've lost my respect to him as a man. Because I don't think, as a white man in America, I don't think you have the right to tell my people how we should react to mistreatment of my people.
Correct. Continue.
And so, the fact that he said, I think it's very disrespectful or whatever, however he said, he was like, basically, sum it up, he was like, to people that didn't hear it, he was basically said, I think it's very disrespectful and things like that to kneel for the flag. First of all, Colin Kaepernick, like, let me get this straight. So, when they ask us to do not protest violently and do not riot, what Cap was doing was, when Colin Kaepernick was doing, he was taking the knee peacefully. And the thing was, at first he was sitting down. People won't acknowledge that he was sitting down first.
Yeah.
Right? He was sitting down at first. A white veteran said, yo, man, I don't like when you sit down. Can you at least take a knee?
Yeah,
so
and he had told him too, bruh. He had told him that veteran, like you were saying, he had told him, he's like, you know what you do when you want to make a peaceful protest? You take a knee. You know what I mean? And so Cap was like, okay, because you got to remember too. You might have been like 12 years old at the time or some shit like this, 13 years old, when like Kaepernick, when he was, you know, a starting quarterback, you know, during those times when he was, when the Niners were doing their thing, right? Where
I was like 13,
he was like a Kaepernick was like a real disrespectful motherfucker. Like, especially when it came to media, like he was just like on some snobby shit, right?
Right.
But then, bro, because he was going to college, like he was taking college classes, and he was taking, he was taking classes about like, African like history and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, he's half black and half white. He was adopted by a white family.
Right.
So like, bro, he didn't really discover how black he really is. Because it don't matter if you're half or not. You're black, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? You gotta know this. You gotta embrace your roots. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and he honestly, he grew up a little bit sheltered and stuff like that. So it's like when he started to realize, like, oh shit, no wonder motherfuckers was at me crazy. You know what I mean? And he started to really appreciate it and really like understand the history in it. He was like, yo, fuck this shit. They're fucking my people up. Like he really like, and he was like, bro, I'm taking a goddamn knee.
And the thing was, they looked at that as when people sign up, or when they sign up, or make the executive decision to become a military veteran, they're protecting our constitutional rights. So in that Constitution, we have the right to peacefully protest, correct?
Exactly.
That's what Cap was doing. It's not like he was just going around saying F the military, F the flag, F America, or whatever.
He actually went and spoke to individuals, like to see the proper way to do this thing. Because you know what I'm saying? Now he had dealt with prejudice his whole life. I don't want to act like he was any kind of privilege. Like he, matter of fact, felt lost most of his life because he was adopted by a white family, was different. You know what I'm saying? Had to deal with that. And then when he started like learning the history of everything, he started figuring out like, yo, these motherfuckers don't look at me the same. I'm not really them. You know what I mean? Being, because he was adopted by a white family who do have their privilege. He didn't have that same privilege. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then next thing you know what I'm saying? He comes to the realization like, and like you said, talking to certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? So, talking to the right people, like veterans even. It was goddamn telling them this is what you gotta do. You take a knee.
It's like I honestly can't name one, because he was protesting police brutality. It's cops that take their abuse of power so far. Lawyers have to go to college for 8 years before they can even defend someone, right?
Yeah.
Judges have to go to college for almost 8, 9, 10 years before they can sentence someone.
That's a good point.
So tell me why a police officer is only in training for 8 weeks before they're given a gun, a taser, pepper spray, and a badge, and they're sworn to protect.
And let alone, low-key, when these motherfuckers probably been racist their whole life.
And that's the crazy part. It's like what Malcolm X said. He said a lot of these white people, they're turning in their Ku Klux Klan outfits, and they're getting police uniforms.
No, you ain't lying, bro. Like, it's a new version of it.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a new version of the Ku Klux Klan. And, like, here's the thing. Like, you ever heard of the saying, like, agree before the badge? You ever heard that?
I don't think so.
Because, like, like, when you're, like, a mob boss, when you're a boss, right, in the underworld, you will have individuals that agreed before the badge. So, like, say you're, like, a kingpin dope dealer, right? And you're like, okay, I got these youngsters that I raised in the game. I would put them, say I'm the kingpin mob boss, right? I'm the kingpin mob boss dope dealer. And I got these youngsters, right? I got these youngsters, and I raised them in the game. And I got this one dude, he's loyal, and I'm like, you're going to be a police officer. I need a guy on the inside. right? So then that way I
Right.
can continue to move all these type of drugs, and we got this fucking officer, and he works for me, and he's working locally. It's the same way on the opposite end. There was the Ku Klux Klan motherfuckers raising these youngsters like, yeah, you gonna be a police officer, boy. And then all of a sudden now you got these racist ass motherfuckers abusing their power because they agreed before the badge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's like, I should not. And you like you said you're Filipino, correct?
Yep.
And because we're both minorities, I'm 17. When I drive and I remember it was a roadblock one time, and they were just checking permits or whatever. I mean, checking licenses and stuff. And I had my permit. I should not be terrified. Because I was driving with my mom. My mom said, just keep this. They just said, just give me a permit. I said, all right, cool. I give him my permit. I should not be scared for my life when a police officer pulls me over.
At all.
And neither should you, because we're both minority. Like, I can't honestly name one white person that can genuinely say that they're scared when the police
Hey,
pull over.
white people be the one that even start talking back. What are you pulling me over for? What?
Yeah, exactly.
What, Mike? Will you want to see my license? Like, they be like the most disrespectful, like, privilege, bro. The white privilege is some fuck shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I grew up in the West Coast, bro. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the Bay Area, a place that's very diverse, especially where I'm from, the east side of San Jose, bro. San Jose, California. I'm from the east side. The white people were the minority where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even like my white brothers that I grew up with, you know, they're really with the shit, like, because they understood it. They understood the racism and shit. Like, they understood, like, they weren't with the shit. They weren't with that shit. You know what I mean? They weren't with that fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of crazy because they had to grow up around motherfuckers like us shitting on them because of the fact that white people are racist. You know what I mean?
You're right. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, white people are bad.
No, we're not. We're not.
But
I will say a large majority, for real, are closet racists. I will say that.
Like, yeah. Like when they say, if they can say I'm not racist, bud, or when they say I'm not racist, I have black friends.
That's racist.
That makes me mad.
I don't like it. Like, okay, how about this? In this whole shit, like, you know, on Instagram, you know, there's all kind of shit. We're seeing it all. Instagram, we're seeing all kind of shit that's going on with the riots and everything, right? I seen this video, right? It was this white dude, freckled face, white dude, blue eyes. He was like super wide-eyed, trying to be real serious in his video. And he was like, hey man, you know, all you people that are trying to riot and trying to use justice for George as an excuse to riot, you know, hey man, my mom works at a gas station and the gas station's owned by immigrants. If you guys come to this gas station and hurt my mom, and I was like, oh my God, I had to comment, right? I was like, you know what? This is that same white guy that will talk about, I have 17 black friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same.
You can
you know what I'm
count the
saying?
number of black friends you have.
Like, the fact that you even, like, have to document the fact that, hey, man, we're not hating. My mom works for a gas station, and it's owned by immigrants. Immigrants. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up, dude. You're the same guys yelling, all lives matter. Eat a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're that guy. Shut the fuck up. Like, for real, like, shut the fuck up for life. You know what I mean? Like, you privileged ass motherfuckers that don't really have no fucking real opinion on shit. Because you're sheltered as fuck. And you never had to deal with nothing real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And going back to Drew Brees too, man, like, you know, the whole premise on this you know, this topic, like, he didn't even, like, I don't want to come out and defend Drew Brees at all. But I will say, I feel like in the locker, like I was like, how in the fuck did Drew Brees not know what Kaepernick meant? Like, that's the part I was confused, right? Because I was like, you're in a locker room with brothers for like 20 years, Drew Brees. How in the fuck don't you know what Kaepernick's protest stood for? It had nothing to do with disrespecting the flag or the military or any of that fuck shit. You know what I mean? But then also, with that said, and like I said, I don't want to defend Drew Brees, but Drew Brees definitely strikes me as an individual who really doesn't talk to anyone, any of his teammates in the locker room, anything other than football.
I can see that.
You feel me? So I will give him that, but that's all I'm giving him. Because he tried to come out and apologize, and it's like, shut the fuck up with your face birthmark having ass mother. Shut the fuck up. He's a guy who consciously puts on makeup to cover the big ass birthmark on his face. If you're consciously doing shit like that, you should consciously be thinking about how you are affecting culture, how you are affecting what's really going on in the world. Granted, for 20 years, all you probably think of is football. You're probably a machine. That's all you're programmed to do. Because that's all white people want to do is program, motherfuckers. So you're probably programmed with your face birthmark having ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and defend Drew Brees.
No, we're not.
Like, I don't know if we can 100% say that the way he said it, he was trying to offend anybody. Like,
no, but he was really adamant about it, though.
Oh, he was. It was an interview, or was he like typed it or something?
He was like, no, and he even tried to say, like, he even tried to designate a time for individuals like us to protest. He was like, you want to protest? You want to disrespect the flag? You do it. You don't do it during the anthem. You don't fucking tell us when to protest.
Yeah, see, you get mad. I'm pretty sure he was mad when people rioted. Like, that's not the way to protest.
No,
all right, the way we go protest is taking a knee during the national anthem.
Exactly.
And it's like, we're not going to win either way.
And you know what, dude? I do want to say, though, of course we're trying to disrespect the American flag when we take a knee. Of course we are. You bitch-ass motherfuckers. Because that shit is a fraud. That shit is it's a fucking fraud. That shit, what it stands for, doesn't really stand for what it stands for. If it did, motherfuckers would feel free. Like, I like to spell freedom, FREE, DUMB. Because you gotta be dumb to believe that shit is freedom. You know what I mean? They're giving out dumb for free. It's free dumb.
And it's people that I can say, you know how white people, not all of them, but like they be like,
but
the
these
N-word
ones,
is just a word. Like when they say the N-word is just a word, we take offense to that, right?
And, or even the stupid asses that will say, well, you guys say it to each other. It's like, no.
They say it's just a word, but when I say that the national anthem is just a song or the American flag is just a piece of cloth, then I'm the bad guy.
It's so crazy too, man, because I love that I'm having this conversation with you because you're a young man, bro. You know what I mean? And you're growing up in the South. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know what's dope? You're growing up in Atlanta. Atlanta is a good example of what like a lot of these southern states should be like. When they should look at the city of Atlanta in Georgia. You know what I mean? Because that is black excellence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of black-owned businesses down here.
For sure. More than a lot of the other places in the South. You know what I mean? Okay. Before we close this thing up, because I know we cut. You know what I'm saying? I hope I didn't. I hope I didn't get too get too what's the word I'm looking for? Like emotional on that, or
No, man, you good? You just angry.
yeah, because it makes me hot, bro. Like, I'm from the West Coast where, like, you know, we dealt with the shit, but, like, not, and I'm not even gonna front, like, we didn't deal with it as heavy as it is elsewhere. You know what I mean? And, like,
Right.
and like, you know, we're living in a day and age where it's like we're all, I mean, you know what I mean, bro. Like, we're living in a day and age where there's no more covering shit up. Everything is on blast. Everything is broadcasted, as well as the revolution. The revolution will be televised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. So check this out, man. Before we close this thing up, if you can give a message as a young African American gentleman from the South, if there's a message you can give to everybody, we're not even going to specify this. We're just to everybody. What would you tell them right now? What can you tell them?
I can tell them, don't keep quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll use this analogy. When you want a job, the job's not gonna come to you. Like Burger King didn't come to me and say, "Hey, yo, Myles, you want a job?" I had to go to them. I had to go through the application. Freedom and equality and rights is not gonna come to us. We gotta go take it. Whether it's peacefully, whether it may be violent, maybe if it's in the mix of both, or if it's you just can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it starts in the voting booth. I'm telling my listeners, I may not have that many. I just hit 100, but I'm telling them I need y'all to go vote. If it's people. Like, it was this graph I saw. It was like Trump won by maybe 11,000 votes, and almost 400,000 black people did not vote. Voting is one. I think if you don't vote, it's very disrespectful to the ancestors, because they fought, they've lost their lives, they've been killed, they've been beaten for trying to vote,
to be allowed to vote, even.
Right.
Yeah.
It starts in the booth. Get somebody in office that's gonna represent for us. I mean, and we need more black politicians. I'm saying this, and I'm probably gonna get some heat for it. Not everybody can be a rapper. Not everybody can be the next LeBron. Not everybody can be the next Michael Vick. Not everybody can be the next Chipper Jones or David Ortiz. Not everybody's gonna be able to do that. We need y'all to start your own law firms. We need black doctors. We need black politicians. We need more Obamas. We need some John Lewis's, some Thurgood Marshalls. You know what I'm saying? So start voting. When you turn 18, I'm 17 now, I'll turn 18 next year. I'm telling you, as soon as I turn 18, like March 28th of 2021, I'm registering to vote. We need women officers that's for us, by us. You know what I'm saying? Because not every white person is going to be for us. When it was Donald Trump and Hillary running for president, they were both racist. We're just voting for who was less racist. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just get out and vote, man. And if you can't vote, like if you're a 17-year-old and you can't vote, you know, and you can drive, you know what I'm saying? Tell your family members to go vote. And people that say, well, they're not going to listen to me, my voice doesn't matter. Yes, the heck it do. When you vote, they have no choice but to listen to you. So get out there and vote. Get out there and make somebody vote. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I love that, youngster. I love that. Because you are approaching it in the way that these motherfuckers are really misguided on. Like, you're telling them, like, listen, we could really make a difference if we go out there and vote. And because here's the premise, bro, like, the stigma is that, like, people are just afraid, you know what I'm saying, to vote. Like, you know how Obama got in office too? Because, you know, young African Americans and minorities in general, they were like, yo, I'm about to go out and vote for the first time in my life because it's Obama. You know what I mean? It's the same way when Trump was in there, right? All these white trash individuals like, I'm about to go out and vote for him. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same way. It's like, and you know what, dude? I will say this, Miles. I actually want to commend you, bro, because you know you are a young man, bro. You're a young African American gentleman, bro, and your approach was like, yo, we need to vote. Like, most of these motherfuckers that are young is like, yo, we just need to burn everything down and just rob shit. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Just take advantage of the fuck shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's like everybody, but there is a good majority. Like, we're living in a day and age where clout chasing is actually a thing too, where like people are trying to do some clout chasing ass shit to like make themselves look fly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, during these times, like doing some outlandish shit that they couldn't do. Because at the same time, how about this? A lot of people didn't think that their vote would do anything different. Right?
Yeah.
Yo, they can make a change. Like, the same way people were naive, you know, young minorities, and specifically young African Americans, the same way they thought their vote wouldn't make a difference is because that's what these devils try to beat into their brain.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, really, they can make a difference. If you know what I'm saying? And it just people need to be educated. And bro, someone like you needs to always speak on it. You're a young man. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're going to get any younger. But the fact that you are young, keep on spreading the word, spreading the isms. Keep on keeping people aware. Wake people up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you are young. You more than ever people will probably hear you. Ain't nobody want to hear these old motherfuckers, to be honest. Half the time. You know what I mean? They need to hear it for someone their own age. They need to hear it for someone their own generation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, Miles, I commend you. You're actually doing a lot of the hard work, man. You're bearing a heavy load.
Yeah.
And he's still smashing at over 100 miles per hour. Is my man Miles, host of the Myles Per HR Podcast. Miles, go ahead and one more time let them know where they can find you, bro.
Like we said earlier in the podcast, it's Myles Per HR on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, wherever you can. Wherever podcasts can be heard. MYLES PERHR. Follow my podcast page at MYLES PERHR Podcast. The Myles Per HR Podcast. And I just want to thank you, the Real GM Network, for having me.
Man, I appreciate you, bro, man. Thank you for allowing me to feature you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you are, bro, you're an old soul, man. Like, as a young man, I would have never figured that. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Man, thank you for your existence, bro. And I know you're going to make a difference out here, bro. You know
yes, sir.
I mean, because ain't nobody going to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? They're going to listen to you, bro. You know what I mean? You the future, bro. For sure, man. Well, shit, man. You be safe. Man, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but success. All that shit, man. And you know what, dog? Stay awake. Stay woke. These motherfuckers out here, they trying to blind us. You know what I mean? And you might need to wake a lot of these motherfuckers up too, man. You're a young man. Your whole generation, bro. You gotta speak to them, cause they'll hear you, bro. Same way I heard you. Matter of fact, check this out, Playmakers. Before we close this thing up, here's a Miles quote. He said, just because I'm pro-black, it doesn't mean I'm anti-white. Man, when I heard you say that on your podcast, bro, I was like, oh my God, this kid is the truth. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For sure, my brother. You take it easy, man. Thank you
All right,
again.
man. All right, you be safe. You and your family be safe now.
Oh, you already know, bro. We're going to do the best to our ability. For
Yes,
sure,
sir.
my brother. Peace.
All right, peace. I can just hang up the phone?
Yeah, you good.